The Ukrainian Special Forces found a notebook on the body of the killed North Korean Special Forces officer with instructions on how to shoot down enemy drones and hide from artillery strikes. The Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine published photos of the notes on their social media accounts. North Korean Private Gyeong Hong-jong, killed in early December in the Kursk region, wrote in his notebook the tactics of intercepting an FPV copter with the help of a fellow soldier who would act as live bait. When detecting a drone, you need to create a three-man team, 3 people, with the one who lures the drone keeping a distance of 7 meters, and those who shoot 10 to 12 meters. If the luring person stands still, the drone will also stop moving. At this point, the one who shoots will eliminate the drone, the note reads. It is yet unknown whether this instruction is an authentic North Korean tactic or a recommendation from Russians acting in cooperation with the Koreans. However, the published videos of Ukrainian FPV drone operators have repeatedly shown strange tactical decisions by the North Korean military, such as freezing in front of a drone or working in groups to try to shoot the drone in the air. The notebook also includes basic instructions for infantry units in the event of artillery strikes, which call for dispersal to minimize losses. In case of getting into the shelling zone, having designated the point of the next assembly group, you need to split into small groups and leave the shelling zone. Another way, since artillery does not fire at the same point, you can hide in the point of previous hit and then leave the shelling zone, the trophy notebook says. In general, the offensive tactics of the DPRK infantry units demonstrated in the Kursk region are not innovative and involve primitive maneuvers by large groups of infantry in open terrain, which leads to significant losses in manpower. In their actions, unit commanders do not consider the factor of small, unmanned aircraft, openly accumulating infantry before attacks, and sending large groups of infantry to attack in open terrain. Large clusters of soldiers lead to significant losses from cluster munitions attacks. We have reported twice about the Ukrainian strike on Russian command post in Kursk, and Ukraine's Center for Strategic Communications is reporting that Ukrainian troops hit a Russian command post in the town of Lgov in Kursk Oblast, allegedly killing 18 Russian soldiers. Ukrainian forces reportedly hit the command post of Russia's 810th Separate Marine Brigade, located in an abandoned civilian building in Lgov, overnight on December 25. Following the attack, Kursk Oblast Acting Governor Alexander Kinstein claimed that Ukraine attacked civilian facilities and infrastructure in Lgov, killing 4 people and injuring 5 others. The strike killed 18 personnel and partially destroyed the command post, Ukraine's Center for Strategic Communications claimed in a December 26 statement. A deputy brigade commander was most likely among the killed, and most of the killed soldiers were staff officers. Despite the high losses within Russian and North Korean ranks, Ukrainian forces in Kursk Oblast seem to be increasingly on the back foot, facing a Russian advantage in manpower and equipment. Ukraine's foothold in Kursk is considered a possible bargaining chip ahead of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's expected push for peace negotiations. Russia's sabotage groups are trying to gain a foothold and have increased the number of attacks in Kherson Oblast, Governor Oleksandr Prokudin said on national television. Prokudin's statement comes amid an anticipated large-scale Russian advance in Kherson Oblast. In early December, Russian troops carried out assaults in the southern region to gain a foothold on islands in the Dnipro River Delta. We are observing an increase in enemy activity. We understand the places where enemy airborne groups can land, and the Ukrainian Defense Forces are ready to destroy them, Prokudin said. Attacks are not rare, and Russian soldiers are trying to gain a foothold on the western bank of the Dnipro regularly, according to the governor. However, none of these attempts have been successful, he added. Russian diversionary groups are trying to gain a foothold on the islands near Kherson or on the western bank of the river every day, Prokudin said, adding that all the diversionists were eliminated. The Russian military has been trying to advance on Kozatsky Island, Veliki Potemkin Island, and the southern island of Zabih in recent weeks, Vladislav Voloshin, the spokesperson for the Ukrainian military's Southern Command, told Radio Free Europe. Kherson and other regional settlements west of the Dnipro River have been subjected to near-daily Russian strikes since Ukraine liberated the area in November 2022, pushing Russian troops to the east of the river. Russian troops have intensified ground attacks in several areas along the front line over the past few days, but failed to break through Ukraine's defense lines, Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky said. The Washington Post reports that the Biden administration is preparing new sanctions against Russia towards the end of his presidential term. According to the publication, Joe Biden is likely to approve sanctions in the final weeks of his presidency, targeting Russia's shadow fleet and exporters. Licenses for banks processing Russian energy transactions may also be revoked. The U.S. administration believes this will give Trump's team more leverage during negotiations with Putin. The Ministry of Defense, Government of India, has awarded Larsen & Toubro a major contract to supply the Indian Army with K9 Vajra-T artillery platforms. The news was published on the company's website. The Indian company Larsen & Toubro will manufacture a large batch of K9 Vajra-T self-propelled howitzers under license, a modification of the original South Korean artillery system that has been adapted to customer requirements. The contract is estimated at $895 million for an unspecified number of units and related services. However, local media reported earlier that the government was approving plans to contract 100 howitzers with a similar budget. The self-propelled howitzers will be manufactured in cooperation with Hanwha Aerospace at the company's local armored plant in Hazira, Gujarat. This is the company's second contract for the production of these systems. In 2017, L&T won a tender to develop and license the production of the first batch of 100 K9 Vajra-Ts, completed ahead of schedule in 2020. Company representatives emphasized that over 80% of the work on the howitzer was performed in India, and Indian production accounted for more than half of the cost. The Vajra-T is adapted to work in high mountainous areas with sub-zero temperatures and deserts. It is equipped with local components, including charging and fire control systems. In April of this year, Hanwha Aerospace also started assembling the first K9 155mm self-propelled gun for the Australian Army, as well as preparing for their local production at the country's local facilities. In 2021, Australia signed a contract to purchase 30 K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzers, locally known as AS-9 Huntsman. According to the agreement, after assembling 2 AS-9 howitzers and 1 AS-10 vehicle at the company in Changwon, Republic of Korea, the rest of the equipment will be assembled at the Armored Vehicle Center of Excellence in Australia.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. He's doing the job every day.